Sometimes we say things that sound good in our head, but don't take into account context or a person's history, causing what we thought was a compliment to come out as anything but. When this happens, it's not our job to be indignant that our expectations weren't met. It's an opportunity to learn about intention, reception, and perception. Welcome aboard, explorers. I'm Charlie, my pronouns are they and them. This is Exploring Gender, and today we're going to talk about unwanted advice and backhanded compliments. A backhanded compliment is an insult framed as a compliment or a compliment said in an insulting way, accidental or otherwise. And unwanted advice is an opinion no one asked for or advice that's unwanted. Often these happen in conversations surrounding a person's body or transition, medical or otherwise. We're going to go through some examples from my own life and find where and why intention, reception, and perception don't always align. But first, for the context of this episode in this series, it's important to define what we mean. Perception, how a person thinks, feels, regards, or perceives the person with which they're interacting. Perception is individual in that two people approach a situation with two different perceptions. Intention, also individual, what we mean or intend within our interaction. Reception, how the person with which we are interacting receives our information. In the same way that we can't control how a person perceives us in the beginning of an interaction, we also can't control the way that a person receives our intention. With those defined, on to the examples. Well, I never would have known you were trans. Their intention. I want to validate your masculinity because prior to this moment, I perceived you as a cis man. The reception. Oh my God, I know what a trans looks like, but you don't look like a woman dressing as a man. Good for you. Oh my God, you're so brave. Their perception. I hear a lot of trans horror stories in the media, and I can never imagine feeling so rejected, betrayed, and alienated within my own body that I sought treatment for it. Their intention. You've shared with me something really personal and vulnerable, and I want to thank you for that and acknowledge it. The reception. Wow, I feel like every time I talk about a trans person, it's how another trans woman is murdered or how this administration is targeting your community. Congrats on you for choosing to live this lifestyle, even though it must be super, super hard for you. I am not brave for existing as a trans person. I am simply existing and also a trans person. I am brave for living my truth and sharing my story, but that's not trans exclusatory. If every trans person had $1 for the number of times we were told how brave we were, no one would ever have to crowdfund their gender affirmation surgery ever again. Dude, your boobs have gotten so small now they just look like moobs. Their perception. Dude, I know that you're super self-conscious about your chest and they used to be super huge, but now they've gotten a lot smaller and it looks a lot more masculine. Their intention. I want to compliment you because I know that you're like super self-conscious like all the time, like to the point that you're constantly thinking and talking about surgery. So I want to make you feel good by highlighting this thing for you. Reception. Ha, boobs. Unless specifically asked, don't comment on a person's body. Again, unless specifically asked, don't comment on a person's body. I don't think that's trans exclusatory either. If you have never lived a person's life experience, maybe don't feel a need to comment or offer advice upon a person's life experience. So what, I can't talk about your body, I can't talk about your transition. Can I even compliment a trans person? Yes, you can. Compliment how happy I seem or how at peace I am. Compliment my state of being or a choice that I've made. Empower my decision-making skills. A comment I never get tired of hearing is how happy I look now, or how at peace I seem from people that have known me for years. A shift I had to make whenever I started transitioning was in talking to women. I'm a man, and it doesn't take a lot for my presence to be perceived as threatening, even if I don't see myself as threatening. I've never catcalled a woman, but it doesn't mean that the woman I'm talking to has never been catcalled. When I was perceived as a woman, I could comment on how a person's dress fit her body. I can't do that anymore, but I can comment on the color or on how good her eyebrows look because I know how hard doing eyebrows is. It's empowering to hear that we've done something well or are shining through our decisions as opposed to being complimented for something that we really don't have any control over. Today, we went over intention, reception, and perception in regards to giving advice and compliments and what to do in situations when we're still learning. Like this video if you learned something, click subscribe to keep learning. Till next time, explorers. Exploring Gender is made possible by donations from awesome people like you. If you want to help our family of explorers grow, head over to the Xploring Gender Patreon page and sign up for a monthly donation. For $1 a month, you can get a precious puppy picture every month. $1. $1, you get cute dog pictures. What more do you want? A shirt? You can have that too. That's another tier on Patreon. Or, if you don't want to sign up for a monthly donation, but you still want to explore and represent Exploring Gender, head over to our merch store on Teespring and go ahead and buy a shirt of your own. Y'all, I'm stoked about this merch, to be honest. We're gonna have sweatshirts, I'm designing stickers, but for now, start small. So start small with us on Patreon or on Teespring. Click subscribe here and help our family of explorers grow. And remember, be the love you need in the world.